In this video, I'm going to give you a couple tips and tricks that you could do to increase your margins with POD. If you're new to this channel, my name is George McConnell, and I made over $1 million on Etsy last year. This video is both for new sellers and existing sellers. Now, with that said, the new sellers, you may have a little bit of trouble with some of the things that I suggest just because it does require capital. I always suggest that you start off slow and as minimal as possible because you don't want to just get overloaded and have a ton of inventory sitting around. So some of the things that I do suggest in this video may be directed towards those, companies that have already built a brand and consumers and things coming in. However, you still can do it as a smaller company that's just starting out. You just have to do it on a smaller scale. Tip number one is using a local shop. Now, they could be in the same county, they could be in the same state, or even a couple states over. However, it's local, and it's not one of these huge, large companies that you cannot negotiate price points with, and you also don't know if they ever change their quality. Now, with a little shop that you're, close by or even a state over, you have direct access to that company. And you also know exactly the quality that they're producing. Versus these larger companies, when they change suppliers, and they're not going to tell you that they just changed the supplier, you never know what kind of quality you are sending out to your consumers. And you will not know until a consumer writes you a review or messages you directly. And it's usually saying something like, hey, I bought a shirt from you 3 months ago, and this new one isn't as good. Why? You don't know why. You have to reach out to somebody in this huge company, writing them an email or calling them. You're talking to a representative, and then they're trying to find out. They go talk to a manager, and that manager goes talks to another manager, and so on and so on. You're never going to get an actual answer from them, but they probably switch, suppliers to save a little bit of money. In addition to that, you don't have any wiggle room to negotiate with them. So it doesn't matter if you sell one shirt, 100,000 shirts, or the next year you have planned double 200,000 shirts. They don't care. Their price is set. Now, with a local company, you can deal with directly the owner or a manager or something of that sort and negotiate pricing. Now, the big thing, like I said earlier, is the quality. The quality is really important, but also being able to negotiate pricing is huge for your margins because the more money you could save, the more money you make. Tip number two is purchasing the products yourself. So if you start working with a local printing shop, you can purchase the products yourself and get, the shirts in the quality that you want and supply it to them. This allows you to eliminate any markups that they would have. Now, of course, you need to talk to that printing, shop and make sure that that's okay. But in most cases, they rather not use their products if they can use yours. They may charge you a little bit of money just because you're bringing in, a third-party item. However, it's not going to be as much as their markups. So instead of directly using their quality shirts, you can outsource and try to find your own quality. See if you can find something better for cheaper. And again, the name of the game is your margin. So if you can find a good quality shirt or a good quality product at a low cost, now you're talking money because now you're saving money and you're also going to this local shop to get it printed. Now, with that said, this goes back to where I originally stated. This can be for new sellers, but mainly a lot of the stuff I suggest is going to be for sellers that have, incoming money. The reason being is because of this capital. The more money you spend for products, the cheaper they are. So say if you want 1,000 shirts, you can get it cheaper than say if you try to order 10 shirts, and that's where the capital comes in. So I don't want you to think that, as a new seller, you could just go out there and just buy one shirt and go to a print on, a local print on demand service and you're going to be saving more than Printful. In that case, you may not be. So you do have to shop around and see, how much they charge and how many shirts you could possibly buy or how many products. I'm not sure what you're using on print on demand. You could be doing sweatshirts, you could be doing shirts, you could be doing coffee mugs, but whatever your, niche is, you need to see what price you can get those products for and then how much they're charging. And if you're only selling one or two items, it may not be beneficial for you. But for people that are selling, hundreds of items a month or even thousands of items a month, it would be beneficial because you will save money. Tip number 3 may not apply to you, but it's important to me. And I do not do any customization. I am not going to take down your name and put your name on, this item or that item. And the main reason is because it prolongs my shipping. I want to make sure that something gets to that consumer as quickly as possible. I'm fighting against huge companies like Amazon. And Amazon, if you go on there now, they do have a lot of things that they can customize and they can still get it to you within that week. So, one, you're going with shirts that are on Amazon that are already pre-done, gets to you within 2 days, and then custom ones that get to you in a week. Now, I can't get a custom shirt to you in a week because it's going to take some time, even with that local, printing service. So I just don't do it. I strictly stick to shirts that are already made and already have the different sayings on it and things like that. And I make sure that I'm shipping it either same or next day. And that's how I make sure that those items are shipped quickly and in that consumer's hand just as fast as Amazon, which then they see that, they know, hey, I can purchase from this guy and I'll get those items quickly. I don't have to wait. And that's important. Tip number 4 is if you're a new company, shipping the items yourself. And if you're a more established company, using a 3PL. So I'm going to start off with a newer company. So as a new seller, what's the benefit of shipping the item yourself? 1, it's more control. 2, you have better control of your margins. So not only do you have control of the product and the shipping time frame, you have control of how much money you make. You're already going to this local printing service, getting the shirt done, and hopefully you worked out a good deal with them to be able to create shirts for you at a cheaper cost. From there, you're getting it within a day or two, packaging it, shipping it, done. With these larger companies, they're charging you this money as a whole. And in addition to that, they're charging you shipping. So you're paying the price for the shirt plus the shipping. And if you're doing this all with a local printing shop and you're shipping those items yourself, you have the opportunity to save more than half, which means more money in your pocket. Now, as a more established company, you could use a 3PL service. 3PL stands for third-party logistics. They will handle the storage of your items as well as the shipping of your items. Now, that really depends on, how involved you want to be with the products and how involved you want to be with, shipping them. If you do not want to actually touch them at all and you have the capital to do so, using a 3PL is great because they charge you just a little bit of money to store the products. And if you know which are your best sellers and which ones sell on a weekly basis, this is great. Now, they'll charge you a little bit to store it and they charge you a little bit to ship it. They'll charge you the exact amount for the price of the shipping label. So you're not overcharged at all on that. You also have the option to tell them how to package it. So you're not just stuck saying, I wonder how it's going to the consumer. You can tell them, I want it to look this way. I want you to fold it this way. I want you to put it in this mailer. I want you to put this sticker on it. And they will do that. They will write a personalized note to your consumer. Anything that you want, they will do for you. You can even have the option to ship it to certain warehouses depending on how big that 3PL is. So say if you have more consumers, in this area of the United States than that area, you'd want to store your products over there. Or you could spread them out all over. There are so many different options with a 3PL that it's great for business. And as long as you have the capital and you have the consumer base to support it, this is a great option. Tip number 5 is hiring a graphics designer. And I explained this in one of my first videos on, how to be recognized is so many people are using the same mockups. And how can you differentiate yourself from, the masses that are all using these mockups? And if you go to a website for the free mockups or even paid mockups, somebody's probably using them. If you use a graphics designer, you can get your own mockup and it's licensed to you. Nobody else is ever going to have that mockup. So you can use websites like Upwork and find a freelancer that does graphics design. You could see exactly, their past work that they've done and how much they charge and find somebody that's in your price range. But the benefit of that is that that mock-up is for you and nobody else can take it. So even if you do spend, say a couple $100s on just one or two mock-ups, it's worth it because you can use that for all of your products. I hope that this video shed some light on how you can increase your margins with POD and how you're not stuck with those huge companies and their huge price points. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment below. I'd love to hear from you, and thank you for joining me.